This is the letter I sent to you, my child. Today, I want you to set aside 1 hour, not to do anything for me, but simply to be with me. No striving, no need to prove anything. Just be present, as you are. I know. You may be weary. Your heart may be filled with questions still unanswered. You may be doubting yourself, unsure whether I still want you to return. But it is precisely in moments like these that I draw nearer to you than ever before. I do not come to teach like a schoolmaster. I do not come to judge like a magistrate. I come as a father, silent, patient, and loving. Today, I want to give you something, a letter, not to instruct you, but to remind you that you are still precious, still loved, and still being sought after. This letter holds no reproach, no condemnation, only gentle words flowing from my heart, the very heart that formed you. You don't need to prepare anything. You don't need to be perfect, or strong, or hide what you're feeling. If you can, find a quiet place. Lay your burdens aside. Breathe slowly, and open your heart, because I am here, waiting for you. Now, let me speak to you, not through thunder or miracles, but in a whisper. Listen, my child. I do not love you because of what you can do for me. My love is not like the love of the world, where you must prove your worth, where love comes and goes with emotion. My love surpasses all of that. It does not depend on your achievements, your morality, or your efforts. Even if you did nothing at all, I would still love you because you are you. Not a better version, not a stronger, more refined one, but you, as you are, with what you hide, with what you don't understand, and with what you're still struggling through. I see it all, and still, I choose to love you fully. There are moments when you think, how could God love someone like me? But hear me clearly, I chose you before you had done anything right or wrong. I placed life within you not because you earned it, but because I wanted you to exist. My love did not begin when you started living rightly, and it will not end when you fall. I do not measure love by how often you get things right, nor do I reduce it when you are weak. The love I have for you is not conditional. It is the starting point, not the reward. I love you simply because you are you, nothing more, nothing less. In my eyes, you are never an unfinished project that needs fixing before you are accepted. You are cherished by me from the moment you were in your mother's womb. Even if you haven't prayed enough, even if you haven't done all the things you believe you should, I am still here, still waiting patiently, still smiling at you. I do not love you in exchange for anything. I do not wait for you to be better before I begin to love, because love began long before that, even before you knew yourself. You don't need to run or strain to hold on to that love. You only need to receive it. I have walked beside many, like you, those who feel they are not good enough to be loved. Like the repentant thief on the cross, uttered only a small plea, and I opened the gates of heaven to him. Like the prodigal son, who had barely returned when his father embraced him, asking new questions, offering no rebuke. My love has always been that way, without background checks, without digging into the past, without demanding repayment. I do not love you if or when you do something. I simply love. That is all. And when you lose your way, when you believe yourself unworthy of love, remember this: there is nothing you can do that would make me love you less. I do not grow weary because you are not yet enough. I do not feel disappointed because your steps are slow. I understand your heart more than you realize. That is why I am still here, unmoving, unwavering, unwearied in my love. If today you feel you have nothing to offer me, then offer me your heart, even if it is tired, broken, or doubtful. I will hold it close, as I always have. You do not need to earn love, for you are already loved. Live from that place. Live as one who belongs to this love. I love you, not because you strive to be worthy, but because I have chosen you. This love has no beginning and no end, for it comes from me, and I do not change. My child, perhaps within your heart are things you've never dared to speak aloud. Perhaps there are mistakes that bring you shame, regret, even self-hatred. But let me say this: no mistake of yours is greater than my mercy. No sin is too great that I cannot forgive. No past is too dark that my grace cannot shine through. I do not look at you through the lens of your failures. I see you through the light of love that longs to heal, restore, and renew. I know the world often labels you by your past, the one who failed, the one who betrayed, the one no longer trustworthy. But I am not the world. I do not define you by where you've been. I define you by grace. When I look at you, I see the possibility of rebirth, of new beginnings, of a story rewritten. No matter how many times you've fallen, every time you return, you will find me waiting. I do not keep a record of wrongs to bring them up again. I do not compare you to anyone else. I simply embrace you because you have come home. Do not let the past become chains that bind your soul. What has been no longer has the power to define who you are. They are not the final word. The final word is miniand. It is the word of mercy. In the scriptures, I chose and used those who had once stumbled, a Moses who once killed a man, a David who committed adultery, a Peter who denied me 3 times. But they were not defined by sin. They were transformed by mercy and sent forth with new strength. So will you be. I do not expect you to live as though you have never sinned. I only ask you to believe that my love is greater than any darkness within you. If you still feel regret, if your heart is still restless, then that is the sign that I am still working within you. Grace does not make you forget your past, but it keeps you from being trapped in it. It allows you to look back with gratitude, for there you encountered my kindness. I do not need you to fix everything before coming close to me. I am the one who heals. I do not need you to hide the cracks in your soul, for it is through those very cracks that my light pours in. I did not come to condemn, but to lift you from the depths. I did not come to ask, "Why are you like this?" but to say, "Now, we begin again." With me, there is no such thing as too late. Every day is a new chance. So, my beloved, do not let past sins extinguish your hope. Let my mercy be your starting place. You are no longer bound by what has happened. You are free to live a new life. Lift your head. Keep walking. Do not miss today's grace because of yesterday's shame. I still choose you. I still believe in you. And I will walk with you from brokenness to restoration. My dear one, I know there are days when you feel so small, so unworthy of trust. The criticisms of others, the repeated stumbles, the failures you can't explain, all of it begins to make you doubt yourself. You once dreamed, once hoped, once believed your life could mean something. But now, perhaps you're asking, who am I that God could use? What good is left in me? I have heard every one of those silent cries, and I want you to know, I still believe in you. My trust in you is not based on your stability. It is grounded in my faithfulness. When you see nothing but darkness, I still see the light I planted within you. When you think of yourself as worthless, I still see the goodness quietly growing inside. I do not look at you merely as you are now. I see you in the light of who you can become. With my hand guiding you, you only see the roots pushing deep into the soil. I already see the flower that will bloom in the coming season. I see potential, where you only see limits. Time and again in the scriptures, I chose those no one believed in, not even themselves. Moses, the stammerer, begged me not to send him because he couldn't speak. Yet I chose him to stand before the king of Egypt. Gideon, hiding in fear, was called a mighty warrior by me, even when he didn't understand why. Peter, hot-tempered and fragile, denied. Mabute later became the foundation of the early church. Do you see? I look beyond what you think are limitations. I see what you've never dared to believe could exist within you. I am not disappointed when you doubt yourself, but I am saddened when you refuse to rise, thinking you're unworthy. You don't have to be strong for me to choose you. I often do. My greatest work through those who seem the smallest. In you, I see perseverance, compassion, resilience, and a faith waiting to awaken. Don't let fear blind you to the potential I placed in you from the moment you were created. It is when you are weak that I can be strong through you. You may be saying, but I no longer believe in myself. I understand. But thankfully, my love for you doesn't depend on how much faith you have in yourself. It only requires that you open your heart and trust in me. I will be your belief when you have none left. I never stop building you. I never stop calling you forward. You are not someone who has missed their chance. You are someone I am still inviting onward. I believe in what I placed within you, even if you can't see it yet. And if I believe in you, then you can learn to believe again slowly, step by step. Do not rush to define yourself by what's behind you. And don't let today's weariness keep you from the future I am opening before you. You are not a mistake. You are a story still being written. My hand still holds the pen. I still believe in you, even when you're too afraid to believe. And my love patient, gentle, yet unwavering will carry you to places you never dared to dream you could reach. My child, I know there are days you feel so small, so unworthy of trust. The criticisms of others, the repeated failures, the unexplained disappointments they all make, you begin to question yourself. You once dreamed, once hoped, once believed you could live a meaningful life. But now, perhaps you're asking, who am I that God could use? What good could possibly remain in me? I have heard every one of those silent questions, and I want you to know, I still believe in you. My trust in you is not based on your stability. It is grounded in my faithfulness. When you see nothing but darkness, I still see the light I planted within you. When you think of yourself as worthless, I still see the goodness quietly growing inside. I do not look at you merely as you are. Now I see you in the light of who you can become. With my hand guiding you, you only see the roots pushing deep into the soil. I already see the flower that will bloom in the coming season. I see potential, where you only see limits. Time and again in the scriptures, I chose those no one believed in, not even themselves. Moses, the stammerer, begged me not to send him because he couldn't speak. Yet I chose him to stand before the king of Egypt. Gideon, hiding in fear, was called a mighty warrior by me, even when he didn't understand why. Peter, hot-tempered and fragile, denied. Mabute later became the foundation of the early church. Do you see? I look beyond what you think are limitations. I see what you've never dared to believe could exist within you. I am not disappointed when you doubt yourself, but I am saddened when you refuse to rise, thinking you're unworthy. You don't have to be strong for me to choose you. I often do. my greatest work through those who seem the smallest. In you, I see perseverance, compassion, resilience, and a faith waiting to awaken. Don't let fear blind you to the potential I placed in you from the moment you were created. It is when you are weak that I can be strong through you. You may be saying, "But I no longer believe in myself." I understand. But thankfully, my love for you doesn't depend on how much faith you have in yourself. It only requires that you open your heart and trust in me. I will be your belief when you have none left. I never stop building you. I never stop calling you forward. You are not someone who has missed their chance. You are someone I am still inviting onward. I believe in what I placed within you, even if you can't see it yet. And if I believe in you, then you can learn to believe again slowly, step by step. Do not rush to define yourself by what's behind you, and don't let today's weariness keep you from the future I am opening before you. You are not a mistake. You are a story still being written. My hand still holds the pen. I still believe in you, even when you're too afraid to believe. And my love patient, gentle, yet unwavering will carry you to places you never dared to dream you could reach. My beloved child, perhaps you carry within you the fear that you have gone too far, been away from me for too long, that you have lost the chance to return. But hear this, clearly no one, absolutely no one, has wandered so far that they cannot come back to me. There is no path, no matter how winding or dark, that can prevent my love from reaching you. No matter how many times you have turned your back, no matter how long you have been gone, my heart has never stopped longing for you. The way home is not closed, it is still there. Open, gentle, and full of hope. You do not need to take a long journey to be worthy of returning. All it takes is one turn of your heart, and I am already there. I do not stand at a distance, waiting to see if you have changed enough before I open my heart. I run to you, embrace you, and cover you with forgiveness. Like the father who ran to greet his prodigal son, I too run to meet you, not to accuse, but to welcome. My love has no fences. My forgiveness has no conditions. It is not a reward for the good enough. It is a gift for those who come back. You may think, I've done too many wrong things. I can't be forgiven. But that is the voice of guilt, not my voice. I do not keep a ledger of stains. I wipe them clean. I do not count the times you broke your promises. I remember the times you turned back. If you have fallen into the pit of failure, it is there that I draw nearest, not to condemn you, but to lift you up. I do not need you to return in glory. I only need you to return in the truth of your heart. Those I love and use have all had pasts, but the past did not hold them back because they allowed me in. Remember Paul, who once persecuted those who believed in me, yet became one of the greatest witnesses to my love and mercy. Remember Mary Magdalene, scorned, but healed and cherished by me in a special way. And remember, if I did it for them, I can do it for you too. You don't need to punish yourself before coming to me. Regret is not the key. Faith is the beginning. Faith that I still love you. Faith that grace is still for you. Faith that I do not scorn late returns but hold them as miracles. Every soul that comes home brings great joy in heaven. And if today you are still breathing, still feeling your need for methane, it is not too late for you. Come home. My child, no need to rush. No need to force yourself. Just come back, step by step. I am already on that path waiting, not with eyes of judgment, but with arms wide open. The road home is not a path of fear, it is paved with my love, my forgiveness, and my unending mercy. I know there are days when you feel too weak to go on. The fears, The stumbles, the moments when you can't seem to stand all of it makes you feel like a burden to me. You wonder, are you tired of me never getting better? Are you disappointed in my slowness? But my child, I do not grow weary of your weakness. I am not discouraged by your lack of strength. In fact, it is in your weakness that my love shines even brighter. You do not need to be strong or capable for me to walk with you. I do not walk beside you only when you are strong. I walk with you precisely because you are weak. I know your tired steps. I see the weight you carry. And so, I do not rush you. I match my pace to yours. Slow enough so you never feel left behind. No need to hurry. No need to race. We are not competing with anyone. I only want to walk with you at the pace your heart can bear. As long as you move toward me, even slowly, I am pleased. There are times you fall not because you didn't try, but because your strength gave out, and you fear that I will turn away. But I never have. When you fall, I do not turn my face. I kneel beside you, place my hand on your shoulder, and whisper, I'm still here. You never fall alone. I am not only the one who lifts you up, I am the one who kneels down with you. My love does not avoid brokenness. On the contrary, it comes alive most fully in what is fragile and shattered. If you look back on your life, you'll see there were times when you thought you couldn't go on, yet here you are. And that is not because you were strong, but because I was there. You may not have felt it clearly, but every breath you managed to take, every step you got through, was held up by my hand. I do not speak loudly. I do not force myself upon you, but I am always present. I do not shout when you are weary. I whisper, rest for a while, and then I will walk with you again. I do not count the times you fell. I count the times you dared to rise, even with the smallest flicker of will, and each of those moments draws me even closer. Your weakness does not drive me away. It is an invitation for me to come near. You don't need to prove anything for me to stay. I chose to be by your side long before you knew how weak you could be. And I will stay until you have strength again, until you have courage, until you finally see that you never have to walk alone. My child, I know there have been many times you failed in life. Plans you poured your heart into that still collapsed. Relationships you cherished that you couldn't keep. Things you wish you had done better, said differently, or not done at all. And because of these things, you began to ask yourself, does failure define me? But I want you to know clearly, you are not defined by your failures. I do not see you through the lens of your results, but through the lens of my faithfulness to you. I do not assign value to you based on a scoreboard. I do not weigh your worth on how often you got it right or wrong. My love does not rise and fall with your successes or stumbles. Even in the midst of your failure, I remain true to my promise. I will never forsake you. What has fallen apart does not sum up who you are. What is still unfulfilled does not take away your dignity. You are you, a person I love, a soul I hold dear, and a story I am still writing with the patient hands of love. There are failures that made you think your life had ended, but sometimes they are merely the closing sentence of one chapter, so I can begin a new one. What you saw as loss may be the beginning of healing. What you thought was the end might be the moment grace begins to enter. If you dare let me step into the middle of your failure, you will see no collapse is ever final when you have me. I never let failure have the last word. I always leave the door to restoration open. I have restored people who seem to have lost everything, like Peter, who denied me 3 times, who wept bitterly in despair, yet became an unshakable witness to the gospel, like David, a king who stumbled, but whom I lifted up again and called back with love. I did not leave them in their failure. I restored them, not just with forgiveness, but with renewed dignity and purpose. I did that for them, and I long to do the same for you. If today you look at yourself and all you see are mistakes, missed chances, wrong turns, pause. Do not let those things keep you in the shadows. I am still here. I still believe you can begin again by my love, not by your strength, not because you have become stronger, but because I remain faithful. I do not turn you away because you failed. On the contrary, I step into it to heal, to rebuild, to renew. You do not need to save yourself. You only need to let me touch the place that hurts, the place that's cracked, the place you've tried to hide. I will not scold you. I will not cast you out. I will lift you up, wipe away your tears, and gently remind you, you still belong to me, and I have not given up on your story. What you thought was an ending, in me, is only the beginning. My devout child, sometimes a quiet, heavy question echoes in your heart. Do I really matter? Am I just ordinary? Small. Lost in this vast world? I know that question. I see the moments when you feel invisible, insignificant, as if your presence makes no difference at all. But, my child, my presence in your life is the assurance that you always matter, and that not a single part of you is accidental. You are not the result of a mistake. You are not an excess product of creation. Every part of you, your voice, your eyes, even the quiet stirrings of your heart was formed within my loving plan. Not a single detail of you has been overlooked or forgotten by me. I did not create you first and then figure out how to love you. I loved you first. And from that love, I shaped you uniquely and unrepeatably. You are an irreplaceable part of my greater story. When I am near you, it is not by accident or indifference. It is my quiet way of saying, you deserve to exist. You deserve to live. You deserve to be loved. I am not beside you as a distant or detached God. I choose to be close not to supervise, but to accompany every morning you wake, every beat of your heart, every breath you draw. These are not merely biological functions, but miracles, and I am present in each of them, whispering to your soul, you matter to me. I know there are times when you compare yourself to others and wonder, why am I not like them? Why am I not as talented, as beautiful, as strong? But I did not create you to be a copy of anyone else. I created you to be you with a purpose, a color, and a worth that is yours alone. Every person has a place in my heart, but no one can replace you. When you show up, you bring something no one else can bring. Even the parts of yourself you call flaws, I can still use them to create something beautiful. If you've ever heard words that made you doubt yourself, whether from family, society, or even the voice within, then let my voice be louder. The voice that says, you are valuable, you are seen, you are loved not because you're perfect, but because you belong to me. Every tear you've shed, I know. Every hidden dream, I've heard. Every effort you've made, even when no one noticed, I have seen. My presence with you is a quiet but unwavering affirmation. Your life has meaning. So never let life's circumstances or careless words dim the truth of your worth. I am still here not just to walk with you, but to remind you of who you truly are. Nothing in you is excess. Nothing in you is a design flaw. And with each day, each moment, I am still whispering to your heart, you are precious because you are you. My beloved, I see you running not just through the busy roads of life, but within your soul. You run to achieve something, to become more worthy, to avoid being left behind on the spiritual journey. You strive to live well, to improve yourself, to do good, and all of that is beautiful. But amidst the hurried footsteps, have you ever stopped to ask, where am I running to, and is my God truly ahead of me? As I assume, my child, you do not need to run to keep up with my love, because my love has never gone anywhere. It is with you quietly, gently, and unceasingly. It does not leave. It does not fade. It simply stays beside you. Every step, every breath, always. My love for you is not a destination that you must strive to reach. It is not found at the end of a journey, nor is it a reward for those who arrive first. I do not place my love high above waiting to see who can climb up to it. On the contrary, I lower myself. I become small, so that I am at your eye level. I am where you can touch me in stillness, not in the place you must endlessly strive to reach. Sometimes, the more you run, the farther you feel from me because you think love must be earned, rather than something you only need to open your heart to receive. I know you love me. I see your effort, your zeal, and even the times you've fallen and still chosen to rise again. But I also see the quiet weariness inside you, the fear of being left behind, the worry that you haven't done enough, that you haven't lived well enough to be truly loved by me. You think, if you prayed more, lived holier, gave up sin more quickly, then I would draw nearer. But my child, I do not love you because of those things. I loved you before you did anything for me, and that love does not change whether you succeed or fail. Stopping is not failure. Stopping is courage. It is the admission that you cannot keep running without growing exhausted. It is letting me do what you cannot do yourself. It is surrendering the wheel. It is believing that I still love you, even when you do nothing. In that silence, grace will come, no because you've done much, but because I am the one who gives freely. To stop is to declare, I don't need to earn love. I only need to be myself and trust that God is still here. I do not wait for you to become more worthy before I love you more. If ever there were a moment in your life when you need to hear this, truth it is now. You are already loved fully. Here and now, I do not love you because you are strong. I am strong because I love you. That love does not come from your striving, but from the outpouring of my heart unceasing. And even if you do nothing to hold on to that love, it remains unmoving, unchanging. So today, instead of running, just stop. Not because you've given up, but because you trust enough to rest in me. Lay your burden down. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and whisper just one thing in your heart. Lord, I am here. That alone is enough to draw me close more than 1,000 deeds. Because I do not seek a busy heart, I seek a heart willing to open. My beloved, I know you don't like to wait. Waiting is uncomfortable, especially when you don't know what you're waiting for, or when it will come. I see you wondering, Lord, where are you in this moment? Are you listening to me? Have I been forgotten? I hear every sigh you breathe in the night, every silent prayer whispered through your confusion. And I want you to know this, in seasons of waiting, I have not forgotten you. On the contrary, that is when I am preparing the best things quietly, deeply. Some things need time to grow. A seed does not sprout overnight. It rests in the soil, in darkness, in silence, and you might think it has died. But in truth, life is beginning in secret. In the same way, in the waiting season, You may not see anything changing outwardly, but at a deeper level, I am working. I am preparing circumstances. I am preparing your heart. I am weaving things together so that one day, when you look back, you will realize nothing had stopped. It was only that you hadn't seen it yet. I have never abandoned you. I have never been silent to punish you. There are times I do not answer right away, not because I have nothing to say, but because I want you to learn to hear in the silence. There are things I cannot give you immediately, not because I want to withhold, but because you are not yet ready to receive them well. I do not delay to harm you, I delay to deepen love. Just as a potter needs time to shape the clay, just as a gardener needs seasons to bring flowers into bloom, I too need time to teach you how to trust, how to wait, how to lean on me. I made Abraham wait decades for a son. I let Joseph go through prison and injustice before he became the one who would save a nation. I let Mary wait in quiet for 9 months, misunderstood, unknown, holding everything in her heart. Those I love are not spared the waiting because in waiting, they learn faithfulness, maturity, and humility. And you, whom I love, are also walking through such a season, not to be forgotten, but to be prepared. If your heart feels dry today, if your prayers seem unanswered, do not be quick to assume I am absent. Perhaps I am standing behind the curtain not to hide from you, but to work more carefully. The things you have asked are not lost. They are held in my heart. And what I am doing for you, even if unseen, is leading you to the best outcome. Maybe not as you expected, but certainly in the way, the time, and the form that is right for you. So be patient. My child, do not let the waiting turn into doubting. Let it become a time of depth, a place where faith takes root and grows. I am writing your story not by speed, but by love. Not everything you long for will come at the time you desire, but it will come in the best time I have chosen. And when it does, you will understand. Waiting was never wasted. It was time in which I loved you in silence. My child, I know there are many questions in your heart. Some you have carried for a long time, questions about life, about suffering, about my silence, and even about yourself. There are things you have tried to understand but still cannot grasp. There are doubts you have been afraid to voice, fearing that they might mean a lack of faith, fearing that I would be saddened or angered. But listen, my dear child, I never reject a heart that dares to ask. I do not despise those who seek me in truth, even if they come with many uncertainties. I am God. Yes, but I am also your Father, a gentle Father, always willing to listen. You do not need to put on a show of piety to come close to me. What I want is the truth inside you, even the messiness, the unresolved parts, the places not yet ready to believe. Faith is not the absence of questions. True faith is the courage to bring those questions to me, with the hope of being heard and loved. Like a child who asks their father silly, contradictory, or even chaotic things, I still listen, and I do not turn away. My love is greater than the questions that remain unanswered. I do not require you to understand everything before you draw near. You may be carrying questions no one else can answer. Maybe the world tells you to stay quiet, to stop doubting, to not ask too much. But I am not like that. I am the one who made your mind. I do not fear your thoughts. I am the one who planted in you the desire to understand. I do not despise your search. I only ask that you bring your questions back to me, instead of letting them lead you away. In love, there is no fear, and I am love. Some questions may never find full answers on this side of heaven, but that does not mean I am not listening. So often, It is in silence that I teach you something deeper than explanations. Trust. But even before faith, I always begin with patience. I listen, not to refute you, but to walk with you on your journey. Sometimes I don't respond with words, I respond with presence, with open arms, with eyes full of mercy. So if today you have a question, do not hide it away like a source of shame. Speak it to me. Whether you are sad, confused, or angry, I can handle it all. I do not ask you to come to me with a perfect faith. I ask you to come as you are, with a heart that is honest, longing to understand, longing to be loved. And I promise, I will not turn you away. I will listen, I will stay, and I will answer in ways your heart will understand. My beloved, I know you have prayed for a lighter life. I hear the sighs at the end of long, weary days. I see the moments when you ask me in silence, why me? Why do I have to bear so much when I'm only trying to live kindly? I do not fault you for those questions. You ask them because you are hurting, because you are being real. And today, I want to say this. I never promised you that life would be easy. But I did promise something else, and I have never forgotten. You will never walk alone. This life cannot escape pain. You will face loss, misunderstanding, failure, and things beyond your control. But not for a single moment in any of that suffering have I been absent. You may not see me clearly, but I have never left. I am the one who goes before you, walks beside you, and stays behind you. When you are weary, I lift you. When you fall, I support you. When you no longer have the strength to pray, I pray on your behalf with my own love. I do not send hardship as a test, like an exam, but in this broken world, I step into each circumstance to be with you. When you hurt, I hurt with you. When you cry, my tears flow quietly alongside yours. When you are alone, I come closest. You will never walk alone, that is my promise. And I do not break my word. When friends leave, I remain. When family does not understand, I understand. When everything you once clung to crumbles, my arms remain open. Look to Scripture, and you will see. Those I love have never had an easy path. Moses stood before the Red Sea and faced a rebellious people. Mary, my beloved, lived a quiet life in the midst of misunderstanding and stood in sorrow beneath the cross. Jesus, my son, was not spared from the cross, but from it, glory was born. You see, hardship is not a sign that I've gone distant. It is the place where I reveal my love most deeply, not by removing suffering, but by walking with you through it. Perhaps you wish I would make everything easier, but what I do is greater. I give you the strength to endure. I shape you to be stronger than you ever imagined. I turn suffering into compassion. I turn brokenness into a new foundation. I turn tears into streams that nourish your soul. These things are not easy, but I am in them, and my presence is the guarantee that you are not alone, not forgotten, not abandoned in this life. So if today you find yourself on a difficult journey, remember this: you don't need to understand it all. You only need to know that I am here. You don't need to be strong right now. You only need to give me space to hold your hand. I don't ask you to move fast. I only ask you to keep moving. Slowly, if needed, but without disconnecting from me. I do not promise you will never weep, but I do promise you will never weep alone. That promise remains unchanged, because my love for you never changes. My beloved, I know there are things you have prayed for in silence, for many days and nights, things you believe are right, necessary, even urgent, and you have waited, first with hope, then with doubt, And now, in weariness, you may be thinking, God has not answered. God has denied what I asked for. But my child, I want you to know, not every delay is a denial. Sometimes, I am simply inviting you to trust more deeply. True love is never rushed. And I, the one who loves you more than anyone else, know exactly what needs to come, and when, and how. You may be waiting for a door to open, a clear sign, a miracle, something to confirm that I'm listening. But sometimes I do not answer with a yes or no right away. I answer with silence, with time, with patience, not to punish you, but to refine your faith. I don't make you wait to cause you pain, but to teach you to lean on me more than on outcomes. You cannot see the full picture as I do. You are standing too close to the wall to notice the path ahead. But from where I stand, higher, wider, full of mercy, I know what will lead you to true life. If I gave you exactly what you asked for when you asked, you might miss what you truly need. If I opened every door immediately, you would not learn the strength of one who waits with faith. And faith, more than anything else, is what pleases me most. So if you are waiting for confirmation, for a door to open, for something you have wept for, then keep waiting. But do not wait with a heart full of doubt. Wait like one who knows their Father is never late, only perfectly timed. Wait like a sower who knows the season will come. The flowers will bloom, and the rain will fall. Every day of delay is not a day lost. It is an invitation. Are you willing to trust me just a little more? I am not rejecting you. I am teaching you what every great gift requires: trust. When I see your trust outgrow your desire, that is when grace will arrive, not a moment too late. And when it does, you will not only know me as the giver of blessings, but as the one who knows the perfect time for those blessings to become truly good. My beloved, I know you have made mistakes. There are wounds in your past that you don't want to touch, parts of your life you wish you could erase. And I have forgiven them. Yes, I have forgiven all of it, holding nothing back. But I want you to know, forgiveness is not the end, it is only the beginning. Because you are not only forgiven, you are being restored. And more than that, you are being sent with a purpose far greater than anything you've ever imagined for yourself. I do not merely wipe away the stain, I heal at the root. I do not simply lift the burden from your shoulders, I place upon you an honor. I do not only erase sin, I restore your dignity. I do not want you to live with the shame of someone once forgiven. I want you to live as one who knows they have been raised up, renewed, and chosen to walk in the light. You are no longer the person you once were. You are a new creation with a heart touched by mercy, and a life that carries the light of resurrection within it. You may think, I have nothing left worth offering, but it is precisely in the places where you once hurt, once stumbled, once felt weak, that now become instruments of mercy. Peter once denied me, yet became the rock on which my church was built. Paul once persecuted the faith, yet went on to preach to the ends of the earth. Mary Magdalene was once despised, yet she was the first to proclaim the resurrection. Do you see? I do not use the perfect. I use those who have encountered grace and are willing to let love transform their lives. I do not need your brilliance. I need your willingness. I do not ask you to know everything. I only ask you to believe that you are sent forth, not by your past, but by love. That love will speak through you, act in you, and heal others through the very journey you have walked. You are not meant to live merely to avoid mistakes. You are meant to live as light, to bring life, to extend my mercy in a world crying out for healing. So do not stop at the words, I am forgiven. Go forth with the truth. I am called to love more deeply, to live more honestly, to give not just through words but with your very life. Every scar you bear is no longer a source of shamite, is a mark of healing. And with every step you take in union with me, you are becoming part of something far greater, a mission that not only saves you, but touches the souls I place along your path. My beloved, have you ever wondered, how much does God love me? Perhaps you've thought this love is merely pity or limited tolerance. But today, I want you to look at this and know that true love holds nothing back. I gave my own son Jesus not as a beautiful symbol, but as undeniable proof that I will withhold nothing good from you. For if I have already given you what is most precious, is there anything I would now refuse? True love does not calculate. It does not weigh every reaction, every merit, every measure of worthy or unworthy. It only knows how to give fully, without holding back. I saw a broken, weary, fallen humanity, and instead of punishment, I chose to send my son, not to condemn, but to save. Jesus entered the world not to remain safe in heavenly glory, but to enter pain, tears, and even the cross of humankind. That love does not stop at feelings, it moves. It sacrifices. It gives all the way to the end. And if I have done that greatest of all things, would I now withhold the smaller ones? Perhaps you think I keep happiness, success, health, or vocation from you. But no, my child, I do not withhold. I simply know the right time and the right way. There are things you ask for that I have not yet given, not because I do not want to, but because I am preparing something deeper, better, more fitting for your soul. All I ask is that you trust that my love holds nothing back. True love withholds nothing, so I withhold neither my presence, nor my spirit, nor my peace, nor my light. They are always available to you. If you are open to receive them, you do not need to prove your worthiness. You only need to open your heart. Whatever is truly good for you, not only in the way you hope, but in the way that leads your soul toward eternal life, I will not withhold. I am not a stingy father, saving good things for the better ones. I am a generous father, always desiring that you receive more than you even dare to ask for. Look back on your life, and you will see what you needed I gave. In the right time, in the right way. Perhaps not as you imagined, but always enough. And what you have not yet received, it is not because I've forgotten, but because that gift is still being shaped in time and in you. I do not promise everything you want, but I do promise to withhold nothing that is truly good for you in the fullest, deepest sense. There is no grace I give sparingly, no gift I hold in selfishness. If you need it, and you are ready, I will give. So today, if you feel lacking, if you are wondering why I haven't granted what you've asked, remember this: I am the one who gave you my son. And a love like that never knows how to hold back. All you need is patience, trust, and an open heart. The rest I will take care of, with wisdom and love far greater than your heart can imagine. My beloved, I know there are moments when you sit there, hands folded, yet your heart feels empty. Moments when you try to pray, but words fail you. Your thoughts scatter, your mind wanders, and your heart seems numb, with nothing to say to me. Sometimes you grieve that your prayer feels hollow. Sometimes you fear that your silence is a spiritual failure. But my child, be at peace when you don't know how to pray. I still understand the size of your soul. I do not measure the worth of a prayer by the number of words or how eloquent it sounds. I do not need you to speak perfectly, beautifully, or at length. What I seek is a true heart. Sometimes, the most beautiful prayer is silence, the place where you dare to be present with me, even when you have no words. Like a child sitting beside their father after a long day, not talking, not asking for anything, just being there, and that alone is enough to comfort the Father's heart. I am the same. Your presence before me, even wordless, is a sacred, silent, and profound prayer. You may think your prayer must be accompanied by some deep emotional feeling in order to be genuine. But emotions are not always necessary. In fact, sometimes I am closest to you, precisely when you feel nothing at all. Not because I am absent, but because I am inviting you to believe through faith, not feelings. Your silence does not distance me. On the contrary, I listen even more attentively to each sigh, each tear, and each empty space within you that cries out what your lips cannot express. Remember, prayer is not always words. Sometimes it's the grip of a hand, the upward glance of the eyes, the falling asleep in my arms after a long, weary day. It is the cry from deep within, I don't know what to say, but I still believe. You're listening, and I am listening. Nothing is missed. Your soul aches in its own language, and my spirit is praying on your behalf, right in the midst of your weakness, with groanings too deep for words. If you feel like your prayer is poor, dry, or somehow not enough, do not be discouraged. I am not looking for perfect prayers. I am looking for you. And you came, despite the fatigue, despite the confusion, you still chose to come. That alone for mice, a great act of love. You don't have to impress me with well-crafted words. You only have to be real and open. I will do the rest. I will take even your silence and turn it into a river of life. So if today you sit down and don't know where to begin, just say one thing: Lord, I am here. Or even say nothing at all, just sigh, hand, that will be enough. I understand. I listen, and I receive. No prayer is ever forgotten if it comes from a sincere heart. My beloved, I know there are days you feel like no one remembers you. Messages go unanswered. Calls are ignored. Meals are eaten quickly in silence. You may be surrounded by many people, yet still feel alone, as if no one truly sees you. That ache can make you ask, does anyone really remember me? And when even the ones you trusted most begin to drift away, you withdraw not only from them, but even from me. But my child, listen, others may forget you, but your name is written on the palm of my hand. I do not remember you with the fragile memory of man. I have not scribbled your name into a list that can be changed. I have engraved your name into the palm of my hand where my heart sees it clearly, where it cannot be erased. I cannot and will not forget you. Not because you are always faithful, not because you always do right, but because you are the one I love. True love does not forget. True love does not fade with time. It is etched deep and it endures forever. My child, you are not an anonymous soul among billions. I know you intimately, not just your name, but your laughter, your voice, the things you love, and even the things you dare not say to anyone. I know what you've been through. I've seen your tears fall when there was no one left to share them with. I've witnessed the nights you lay restless, asking silently, God, do you still remember me? And the answer has always been, yes. Not only do I remember, you are closer to me than you think. Your name is not merely in my memory. It is engraved upon me. When you feel forgotten, when every door seems shut, I am still standing there with an open hand, with a heart that never closes. You may be overlooked by others, undervalued, pushed to the margins, but in me, you have a place that cannot be replaced. You are you, and that alone is enough for me to never stop remembering you. You do not have to remind me to love you. I have never forgotten you, simply lost sight of the fact that I've always been here. Sometimes, you may not feel my nearness, not because I am far, but because your heart is too noisy. But try to be still. Picture my hand in your mind, the one where your name is engraved. Quietly, unchanging. No spotlight, no witnesses needed. Just you and me, and a bond that cannot be broken. I remember you, even when you forget yourself. I call your name, even when no one else does. And I am still here waiting for you to return, as if for the very first time. So if today you feel forgotten, come closer to me. No need for long words, no explanations. Just be present, and let me whisper what I've always longed for you to know. You are not forgotten. Your name is written on the palm of my hand, and there you will always belong. Then, my beloved, I know there was a time you drifted far, not always in distance, but in your heart, step by slow step, you moved away from the light, until one day you found yourself lost in the shadows. You looked back and saw someone you no longer recognized, no longer wanted to be. And deep within, you began to hear condemning whispers. You are lost. You are a sinner. And eventually, you started to believe that this is how I see you too. But today, let me tell you the truth. I do not call you a lost sinner. I call you my beloved. Returning home. I do not define you by your sin. I do not label you by the stains of your past. The world may see your failures and box you into your mistakes, but I look at you with love, not confined by what you've done. In my eyes, you are not ruined, but being found. You are not cast aside, you are longed for. I do not call you by the name of guilt. I call you by the name of hope, of sonship, of homecoming. When you take even the smallest step toward me, I notice, like the father who saw his child from far off. I don't wait for you to knock, I run out to meet you. Not to ask, why did you do this? But to say, at last, you've come home. You don't need to explain everything. You don't need to prove yourself. Your return alone is enough to make all of heaven rejoice. And to me, that joy does not come because you've become perfect, but because you've chosen to come back. People may call you by what you've done, but I do not name you by your past. I name you according to the future I see in you. I don't see a prodigal. I see someone learning to love again, to believe again, to live again from brokenness. I see you as the little child you once were, still held in my heart. And I have never stopped hoping. So if there's a voice within that condemns you, ask yourself, is this the voice of love or merely the echo of fear and shame? I do not deny your mistakes, but I will not let those mistakes write the final chapter of your story. I came not to condemn, but to heal, not to add to your burden, but to lift the weight of sin from your shoulders. And I do this not out of duty, but because you are mine. Nothing can change that. Truth, not one wrong step, not one lost path, not even 1,000 turnings away. You are my beloved, and a journey of being found, embraced, and loved again. So if today you are still walking the road back, slowly keep going, unafraid. I do not wait until you arrive to love you. I love you all along the way. And when you get here, you'll see I don't just forgive. I restore. I don't just open the door. I prepare the feast. No one else can name you but me. And do you know what I call you? My beloved returning home. Ugh, my beloved. Have you ever felt that your life is too small? As if everything you do is just a cycle: wake up, work, try to live well, then sleep again. At times, you may ask yourself, what is all this for? Does my life really carry any meaning? I know those thoughts. And today I want you to pause for a moment and hear me say this. Your life is not only valuable in the present, it is being woven with eternal threads. Every act you do with love, even the smallest, holds value beyond time. Every glance of compassion, every word of forgiveness, every time you choose silence over anger, every quiet sacrifice, they are all invisible threads being woven into a sacred tapestry you cannot yet fully see. You may think no one notices, but I do. You may feel like it disappears into nothing, but in me, nothing is ever wasted. Not a single moment lived with love is ever lost. You are living in time, and because of that, you tend to measure everything by immediate results. But I am the one who exists beyond time. I see the entirety of your life as a continuous flow from the day you were born, through your return to me, and even beyond. The smallest choices you make today could become the foundation of great grace tomorrow. The wounds you are bearing today may one day become comfort for another. Do not underestimate the small things, for from them I weave eternity. There will be seasons in your life when you see no meaning. Everything may seem random, fragmented, even hopeless. But, my child, a weaver never stops working while the cloth is unfinished. You may be looking at the underside of the tapestry where there are knots, tangled threads, and colors that seem out of place. But I am weaving from the other side, and one day, when you finally see it, you will exclaim, "So that's why it all made sense." And in that moment, you will know that every single day of your life bears the imprint of the eternal. You were not born to live a temporary life. You were created to live forever, not just on this earth, but in a kingdom that will never fade away. That's why everything you do today, if done in light, in faith, in love eyes, contributing to something that cannot be lost. Your life does not end in the grave, it begins again, in a more radiant form. And everything you choose to live right now will echo forever into eternity. So today, if you feel that your life is ordinary, dull, lacking significance, remember this. I am using the very human, very small things within you to build something with divine dimension. The tapestry of your life is not meant to be trampled underfoot, but to be stretched out in my kingdom. And every day, I am still weaving with patience, tenderness, and a love that knows no end. My beloved, if by this moment you still think you are somehow outside of my love, then let me say this once and for all. My love has no borders, no walls, no limits, no conditions, and absolutely no exceptions, including you. This love is not reserved for those who are better, or holier, or more deserving. It is for everyone, but first, it is for those who need love the most. You do not need to travel to the ends of the earth to find me. You do not need to reach some moral benchmark to catch my attention. I do not love you based on degrees where, if today you live better than yesterday, then I will come closer. No, I am love, and true love does not measure. I love you, not because you are perfect, but because I am your Father, and you are my child. That love always moves toward you like a shepherd leaving the 99 to find the one lost sheep. I do not wait for you to come to me, I come looking for you. You may have taken missteps. You may have spent years in indifference, in dryness, in shame, but never, not once, have I stopped searching for you. In every event, every person, Every unexpected moment in your life, I have been there, gently knocking on the door of your heart. My love is not a fixed point. You must strive to reach it. Moves toward you, softly, persistently, and without weariness. If you run, it follows. If you hide, it waits. If you close your heart, it remains patient for the day you open it. I do not love in general. I love each one. I do not call all of you as a faceless crowd. I call each name. And in that list of love, your name is never missing. Never. I overlook no one, and I place no one on hold. If you're hearing this today, it is because my love is reaching for you. No one is too far to be touched. No one is too late to be saved. No one is too sinful to be loved. And no one is beyond my embrace. If they are willing to step into it, you don't need to do something grand right now. Just open your heart. Even a little. A short prayer. A sigh of longing. A small turn back. That is enough for my love to rush in to surround. To heal. To restore. Like breath slipping through a cracked door. Like light touching a dark room. Like arms embracing a child who has come home. This love is still moving, unending. Unstoppable, and it is here now. Reaching for you. And if you ask, am I truly included in that love? My answer to you is this: yes. Always yes. And never not. My beloved child. If you've walked with me all the way to these last lines, I thank you not because you've completed something, but because you've opened your heart to listen in a noisy and hurried world. Your time with me is an act of love, and I cherish it more than you know. What you've just heard may not erase all your weariness, may not answer all your questions, may not instantly change your circumstances, but if your heart now feels a little lighter, a little clearer, a little warmer, know that this is me. It is my love gently at work within you. You don't need to go far to find me. You only need to live today with me, in me, and for me. Even on the days when you are weak, on the nights when you feel dry, on the paths where your steps falter, I will not give up, for I am faithful. I will not let go of your hand, not ever. And if tomorrow you forget these things, if you fall, if you grow weary, come back. This letter will still be here. I will still be here, with unchanging love. Your Father, the one who created you, understands you, loves you, and is always waiting for your return. Thank you for listening to this message. Know this: you are not just an audience. You are chosen to live daily in the presence of God's Word. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any sacred message. Amen.